I'm going to try hard to keep this where it belongs. I hope you can hear me. We were talking about carrying your cross. And I'm sorry to do this while I'm walking, but my goodness, sometimes God has something to say. A lot of times he says it to me when I'm walking. Go figure. We were talking about carrying your cross and the journey toward, where an implement of death would take you. Death, which is victory. And you guys, I am not talking about in the physical, really. I'm talking about in your spirit, in your heart, in your mind. All right, let's take it one step further. I know that you're familiar with the story in the Bible of the Good Samaritan. And Jesus is telling this story because a religious leader asked Jesus, who is my neighbor? They determined that the law is summed up in this: love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. And this guy's like, who is my neighbor? Well, Jesus tells a story about a man traveling down a road, and he was stripped and beaten by robbers and left along the side of the road. And he talks about a priest walks by him and just leaves him there. He's in a hurry. He rushes by. The guy's bleeding. He's in a ditch. He's been robbed. He's been beaten. So then a religious leader walks by, and he's in a hurry. He can't stop and help. So then a Samaritan walks by, and there's a lot behind that. Like the Samaritans, back in the day, Bible people who hung out around the synagogues, they didn't like the Samaritans. They were like, dude, stay away from the Samaritans. It would be like, I don't know, the Crips and the Bloods maybe. I don't know. But they didn't like the Samaritans. So the Samaritans were pretty much considered bad guys. Guess what happened? This guy's laying, beat up, naked, bloody in a ditch. Can't get up. It's the bad guy. It's the Samaritan. It's the Samaritan that stopped to help him. So, the Crip was laying in the ditch and the Blood stopped and helped him. The Blood was laying in the ditch and the Crips stopped and helped him. I don't know much about gangs. Y'all, look, I live in the country, okay? I'm just trying to go with it here. So here's what I have to say about that. And it might not be going where you think it's going. We were talking about carrying your cross. And we were talking about getting scraped up and bruised and beat up along the way. Now we're talking about this guy that was robbed and beaten and left for dead. Here's the long and the short of it, you guys. Aesop's fable would give you the moral of the story. Here's the moral of the story. If your brother or your sister, if your friend or your family has been beaten up or has been splintered up by carrying their cross, they may still be trudging up the hill, or they may be laying in a ditch along the side of the road. I submit to you that it is your job as a child of God on this planet to stop and patch them up and get them moving on their way again. Don't just walk by them. Don't just say, isn't that a shame what happened to them? Don't just be in so much of a hurry because you got to go to prayer meeting, you got to go to Bible study, that you can't stop and love on that person. Bandage up their wounds, put a little oil, put a little wine on them. The moral of the story, when you see someone's going through it, when you see someone's hurting, stop and love on them. Speak words of encouragement to them. Help them get up. Help them get out of the ditch. It's just one person. I'm going to throw this out there at the end of it all. Jesus said, whatever you do for the very least of these, you do it for me. When you speak kind words of encouragement to your friend who's down, that's Jesus. You're speaking to Jesus. So hey, y'all, go talk to Jesus. Go put oil on some of his wounds. Go kiss him on his cheek. Put your hand through his hair and tell him it's going to be okay. And have a great day.